All right, there we go. Hello everyone, how's it going? Team here, and this is BXJS livestream. And today we are going to be importing the JSON that we have from the BXJS weekly into the Hasura endpoint that we created last time, and setting all of this up. And I guess my goal today is basically to replicate the website that we have right now, although this is statically generated, right? And I want to make it, I guess, mostly statically generated, but the search will be like proper search, because what we have right now is the client-side index, which is quite heavy and not very fast, and we're essentially gonna use Hasura for that and make it a bit faster. I'm not sure if we're gonna have enough time to make the dark mode today, but we're gonna see about that. But yeah, essentially the gist is that we're gonna take the existing JSON, import it into the Hasura, and then set up Next.js to effectively make it look the exactly same as the current BXJS website. So that is the plan. There is our JSON in BXJS weekly releases. So we should have the BXJS JSON over here, right? It's just above 1.5 megabytes, which is quite nice. So let's just get cracking, I guess. Hey Marina, welcome to the stream. All right, let me think for a second. So what I'm thinking is Hasura actually has a nice tool, JSON import. So they have an official tool for importing the JSON. Although I do not see it. Wait a second. I remember seeing it somewhere. There you go. It is on GitHub at least. So the DuckDuckGo sometimes does not produce the best search results, but this thing exists. Hey team, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so this thing exists, and essentially you can just feed it any JSON file. The Hasura will create the schema for you. It will import the data. The problem is we need a very specific schema, and I honestly am not sure if the current JSON structure is good for us, right? Because we're going to be expanding it going forward. And I basically don't want to use that. We will need a GraphQL client and GraphQL queries to work with the data anyway, so we're going to be writing all of that from scratch. Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'll just create an importer folder in Hasura here. And we're going to go into it, and we are going to npm init -y. So this is going to be, let's call it BXJS importer. Imports existing BXJS weekly data into Hasura, right? So this is basically literally all it needs. You know what? While we're at it, let's go with type module. So I've been lately diving into the native ES modules in node.js, and it's been quite great. Like, there are still quite a few tools that don't really support that or don't fully support it. But for the most part, it actually works surprisingly well. All right, so I think we're only gonna need index.js, or I guess let's call it importer.js, because that's just more straightforward, right? So main is importer.js, and we're only gonna have a start script, which basically does node importer.js. That's all we need. Okay. And now what we need to do within this importer is, number one, we're going to fetch this URL. So I guess I'm wondering if it makes sense to just use the GitHub API. I mean, we're not going to get any other latest things, right? So let's just go ahead and say that this is JSON URL, right? So this is our JSON URL. That seems fine, right? So what we need is we need to download this URL. We need to parse it as JSON, and then we need to see the structure, actually, because I honestly don't remember how exactly I've structured it. So let me think. What is a good Node.js HTTP request? Okay, I guess request alternative. I don't think Node supports fetch right now, right? So I mean, we could use node fetch, obviously, but I would prefer something simpler, nicer. We got Axios, we got node fetch. Does wait a second, does Reduxios works on node? Is that a thing? Reduxios, develop it. Check for documents. So Reduxios will not break on node. Okay, let me think. So will this, because I really love it. It's super tiny. It's like 800 bytes. Okay, so it does use native API. So I guess you do need to at least provide the polyfill for it, which makes it a no-go for us. We could go for God.js or something. That's also a very nice API. So do they have like a sizes here or something? I mean, maybe just fetch is enough, right? So you know what? Let's just go with fetch, because why not? Node fetch. I know that node fetch works perfectly fine, and we don't really need anything super fancy here in terms of features. We just want to, well, fetch things, right? So we're just gonna go with that. Okay, let's go ahead and import our fetch. In our case, it's gonna be import fetch from node fetch. Yep. And then we are gonna, so one of my favorite things about ES modules is that you finally have a top level await, which means we can literally say that we can say await fetch JSON URL, and then do then and just, you know, get the JSON from it, which is exactly what we want. So let us log the data, because as I said, I don't really remember how it looks. npm start is what we want to call. All right, so this is what we get. Let me think. So what does this look? I guess it's just basically an array of items. Each item has ID, category. Okay, so this is what we have, right? So let me just make a comment here, throw it in here. So we got an array of items. Each item has an ID, category, title, URLs, URL set, file name, and episode name. So I'm thinking, okay, first of all, let's go into our Hasura. So yep, that should work. So this will create an console that is running locally, but this is our Hasura. I guess we should probably not develop on the live, and I should actually, wait a second, let me just start the Hasura locally so that we don't actually break things on a live deployment. That sounds like a good idea, right? All right, so this is our local Hasura. It shouldn't really have anything beyond our users. Okay, cool. So now what we want to create is a new schema. Let's call it weekly, I guess, right? Or maybe BXJS weekly. Does it support dashes? It's a good question. No, it doesn't. Okay, let's just BXJS weekly. Okay. And then we need, so I basically want to have two tables, I guess, right? So we need a table for episodes, and we need a table for the links. So if we look at the structure here, we basically want to have the episode separately. I don't know if we care about the file name anymore, since we're going to be using the database for storing everything. And we don't really care about URL sets that much. So we had the older episodes where there were some entries that had more than one URL, but I guess we can leave it as like, you know what, let's just keep it as legacy. So essentially we can drop that, meaning that we can have, oh, wait a second, we do need a file name. So we need to extract the date from file name is what we need. But essentially we're going to have two entities, right? So we're going to have our links, which will have ID, category, title, and URL. So in this case, URL is just going to be one URL. And then we're going to have episodes, which is going to be episode name, and whoops. And then we're going to have, so we need to extract the date from it, right? So we need to extract the date, extract from file name. So this is what we need to do. All right, so I guess let's create the tables. So we are going to have the table called links. And let's just go. So we're going to have an ID, obviously. What was there as well? Category, which is going to be text. We're going to have the title, which is going to be text. Now, I'm thinking that, you know, going forward with all the machine learning and stuff, we actually are probably going to have more properties, such as, you know, the short description, the full text, the HTML maybe. But I'm thinking that we can do it later, right? So I don't actually have to think about that now. We can just expand the schema as we go forward. All right, so all of those are mandatory, so none of them can be nullable. I'm gonna add the created and updated ads automatically just for the sake of it. And we also need an episode link. So we actually need an episode, which is gonna be an integer, and It's also non-nullable. And okay, so we cannot add the foreign keys for now. Maybe I should have added the episodes table, but that's fine. We can add the foreign key later on. Okay, so this is the table for links, and then we create the table for episodes. Again, ID, name is our episode name, and then we got the date, which is the timestamp. Do we have anything else with regards to episode? Let me have a look at the website. So we have this episodes list, and it's literally just the episode number or name, and then the... Do we even need a name? Here's the question. Do we just go with a number? No, you know what? Let's go with a name, because who knows? Maybe I change my mind and start naming them a bit more explicitly than episode 154. Okay, cool. I don't think we need anything else. So date and name should be sufficient. Again, created at, updated at is okay. So yeah, let's go for timestamp now. So basically, if you don't pass anything, if you just create new episode, it should be from now. This is gonna help us later on. I'm gonna add the table, and now we need to link our episodes. So we're gonna say that foreign key, the episode, and we link from episode to the ID column, which means that we later on can add this relation between the two, so that, you know, when we query for episodes, we can actually get all the links nested automatically by, you know, done by Hasura instead of manually setting up all those queries. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna switch to the API tab for now. Let me just make it a bit bigger, I guess. Okay, so let me think for a second. Mutation. Okay, so we need what? Insert episode, right? And the episode is name. Yes, $name. That is gonna be string. And then we're gonna have dates. There's gonna be timestamp TZ, I believe is what it's called. So this is gonna be insert bxjs episodes 1. No, you know what? We can actually insert many, right? So we can just do batch insert. That's actually a good idea. So objects, and then this is just gonna be $episodes. And then here we're gonna define that as, well, I'm gonna define it as a string, and it's gonna complain that actually should be an array of bxjs weekly episodes insert input. Okay. Okay, let me just, you know what? I'm just gonna copy this, because I am really bad at remembering how to correctly spell off this thing. What? No. Episodes, insert, input. This is what we want, and it's mandatory, and this is mandatory. Okay. And then once we insert it, we want affected rows, we want returning ID, dates, name. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with all the fields, right? So this is our query. This is our mutation for inserting, batch inserting the episodes, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna save it over here. Batch insert episodes. We're just gonna call it like this. I'm gonna paste it over here. So we're gonna, it still needs some processing depending on which GraphQL client we choose, but for now I'm just gonna leave it here. But you know what we need to do? We actually need to process the data first to extract this episode's data. I think we already did it somewhere. Maybe even in the bxjs website, like in the master branch. So I'm just gonna go there and have a look here. Yeah, there's our source. I believe we did something similar at least, right? So there's the episodes JSON. Yeah, so this loads the episodes. Yes, episodes fetch. Okay. Source nodes. Okay, so this is our process. So basically we can just take that literally and refactor it as needed, basically, right? Because this does all that we need essentially. So for episode of data, no, wait a second, that's not download URL. We don't really have a download URL. What is this? Where is it getting it from? Wait a second. Get episodes JSON. So this is cache content. Okay, so this caches the episodes, cache path. Okay, otherwise episode list. Oh, okay, so downloads it gets the GitHub API, it gets the latest release, then downloads the episode. Okay. Oh, and we process. Okay, so we don't actually need all of that. So this is gonna be, I guess, for item of right. File name is episode. What was it? Where's my structure? File name. Okay, file name. Yes, so that was correct. Right, year, weeks, episode name. That's good. I mean, we already have episode name, so we don't actually care about that. We only care about years and weeks. So we need to create this date. Okay, episode date. Yes, that's good. We don't care about the markdown. Oh, right, because, right, okay. This is Gatsby source, which means we actually read the files, which is why it's doing all of that stuff. But in our case, we don't actually need all of that. Const episodes. So episode, I cannot type. Okay, episode name is gonna be item dot episode name, right, is what we're gonna have. And then date is gonna be episode date. Okay. And then we need to create this const episodes. So we're gonna have an array of episodes and array of links, right? So this is what we're gonna fill. Right, and we also should probably item, yes. Okay. Episodes push episode. So we also should only do all of that. Let me think. So if episode, yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make it even simpler. So we're gonna make it an object, and we're gonna say, okay, episodes from name equals episode. Item episode. This is so basically if this thing already exists, right, then we're just not gonna do any of that. So if it doesn't exist, then we're gonna do the processing, insert the episode. If it does exist, then we just skip it because, well, there's a limited number of episodes and we don't really care about all the other stuff. Right, now the links. Okay, so now we get this stuff. And did I create a link field? That's a good question. So item ID, don't care. So we got item category, item title, and item URL. So, and item episode, right? And const. Oh, okay, so we actually have to... So we have to pre-create the episodes first, get their IDs, and then create the links and link them to according episodes. Okay, so there's going to be a bit extra steps. Okay, so this is our link category, title, URL. I need to look at the schema because I feel like I missed some of those. And then episode is going to be item episode name. So we're going to use the name for now and then later link it to the actual ID. Links push link. So we push it to the links. Okay. And then once this is done, we should have a nice episodes, and we should have a nice links or I guess episodes object and links array. So if I do npm starts. Okay, date. Oh, right. I don't have a date funds, which is a good thing. So I should probably install that. This is very helpful little utility. Definitely wouldn't want to parse the dates myself. It's a lot more trouble than basically installing one nice dependency. So let me import date funds from, I think we can actually use named imports from it if I remember correctly. Or maybe not. That's a good question. I'm not sure if they publish the ES module or if it's just a common JS still. Okay, cool. So URL, wait a second. This should be URLs. Okay. Okay, cool. So this now looks correct. At least the links look correct. Let me just comment this. So let's have a look at the episodes. All right, this looks right, I think. So it doesn't seem like there's any errors here. So let's see. The episode 154 is from the 19th of February. Is that correct? 20th. Okay, well, the time zones as well. Okay, so that looks correct. All right, so what we need to do now is, so parse JSON into arrays, right? So then we need to insert episodes. Why is it so hard to type? Episodes, let me just mute my watch here for real quick. Okay, insert episodes and get new IDs. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to insert the episodes and get IDs for each name so that we can link the links to them. Before we do that, let me just have a real quick look at the links. Did I have a feeling that I forgot to links. So modify. We got no, okay. I created URL title and category, so we're all good here. All right. So let's see. Which GraphQL client do we use? Let me think. So GraphQL client Node.js. What is a good one for Node.js? I mean, yes, you can use node fetch to do stuff manually, but it's just annoying. Like there are very lightweight GraphQL clients, so I would actually prefer to do that. I mean, on the other hand, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm overthinking that. But it's just nice to have some, extra features such as GraphQL parsing and query validation and stuff that will throw errors. Okay, this doesn't help me at all. Maybe I am overthinking it. So yes, I remember at some point using this GraphQL request. I think there was something else. So the GraphQL request definitely was quite nice. It's like 70 kilobytes packed, unpacked, which is also quite convenient. So yeah, this is basically, this GraphQL thing is probably the most important thing that I want, because it does like query validation, variables validation, and throws errors if you miss anything, right? So, and this is exactly what we want to have. Okay, Donna, thank you very much for your donation. As usual, highly appreciated. Okay, and hello and welcome to the stream as usual, of course. Long time no see. All right, yeah, I guess, you know what, let's just go with GraphQL request, because I feel like that's probably sufficient for our case. So, yes, we're gonna, you know what, I'm just gonna do that and copy the whole thing. And okay, so request GraphQL client. So do we, how was the query definition? Yeah, so we need this GQL template literal thingy. GQL. Okay, so this now turns it into a GraphQL query, which also gives us formatting, which is super great. And now we can, I don't think we need the client thing. I think we only care about the request actually, right? So this is the, yes. Okay, so result awaits. So yeah, endpoint is something we need to define. Endpoint, let's go process env Hasura endpoints. Or if it doesn't exist, we're gonna go localhost, what was it, 8080, I think, right? Docker ps-a, yes. Okay, so 8080. I think it is /GraphQL if I remember correctly. So that should be it. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it assignable with end variable so that we can easily swap it for the while we execute the import into the live GraphQL endpoint, right? So we got the endpoint, we got the query, and then we got the variables. And variables in our case is gonna be episodes. Here is what we're going to do is we're going to say object keys. So because we have the names of the episodes, it's an object that maps names to the episodes themselves. Episodes, we need to map it so that this is a key. So we need to actually map it to an array of just episodes, right? So this is what we want to do. Okay, we don't care about that. Console log results. Okay. So theoretically, if we run this, we should get a whole thing of episodes. Okay, yeah. Did I not? Wait a second. Oh, no, wait, that's an error. Resource does not exist. Did I do the wrong? Wait a second. Localhost 8080 GraphQL. Resource does not exist. What am I doing wrong now? So, oh, okay, right. I forgot the v1 there. Okay, fair enough. All right. That's good. So we got that. Yes, and we will also need to wipe it once if that works. No, that doesn't work. So what is the error? Oh, of course. We need the Hasura admin secret. So, okay, const admin secret is process and Hasura secret. Or what was my secret again? I think it was something very simple, right? Local admin secret. Yes, there we go. So we very secure local endpoint. All right, admin secret. And now how do we pass it to the GraphQL request? How do I make it pick up the headers or something? Variables, node version, authentication headers. There we go. Okay, so I guess I need to create this GraphQL client. I really wanted to evade creating a client, but that's fine. Okay, sure. Client. So I guess we need to create the client. Okay, let's do it somewhere here. Yes, GraphQL client headers. So we create it from endpoint, and then our so that should not be the authorization. It should be a special header, and the value should be admin secret, and the header should be that x Hasura admin secret, right? So this is what we want to pass. Okay. We pass that. That is perfectly fine. Okay. And then I think instead of request, we just do GraphQL client request, right? So we don't need to pass endpoint anymore. We can just pass the... Am I doing it correctly? Where's my document? Request document variable. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Right, let's give it a shot. Are we working now? Seems like we are indeed working. Okay, perfect. So we are gonna have const episodes is gonna be yes, let's call it created episodes so that we're not confused about the difference between episodes. So this is gonna be insert episodes. Returning is what we're interested in, right? And then we're gonna map episode to so we're, yeah, I guess, you know what, we don't need to map. So this is basically what we care about. Okay, created episodes right now. So if I go to our database, we should see all the episodes here. Cool. 100 rows, so we should have like 100 something of them. I guess they're like a wipe database or something flag. Because I mean, I guess I can just select all and hit delete, but yeah, there you go. Let's just do that. So delete that. Okay, cool. So now we got the episodes. Where's the query? So basically each episode has ID and a name. So what we need to do next is get created episodes to match IDs, right? Okay. So then assign new episode IDs to links. So this is what we want to do. Assign, come on. All right, so const links with episodes, episode IDs, let's call it this way. We're gonna links map, so we get a link. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, okay, so we take the whole link and we say episode instead of episode name, which we have there right now. What we want to do is we want to say created episodes, find episodes, so that episode this is gonna, I mean, on the other hand, you know, it's like we have 200 items, so it's not super efficient. It's obviously going to be like slower than having a object with a lookup or something, but I think it's fine. So it's probably going to be okay. Equals link link dot episode, right? And this is going to be ID. So this is exactly what we want. And then we need another query. I think I need to organize this a bit better because it's getting quite messy already. So const batch insert links GQL. Okay, this is our GraphQL query. All right, let's go construct the query with some assistance from the GraphIQL. Insert links. Okay, it's gonna be links, insert episodes. So this is gonna be insert links, insert, I guess, right? Okay, and this is gonna be insert BXJS weekly links. I think that should do it. But yeah, obviously we have different set of fields. So it's gonna be category, episodes, put it at the very bottom, title, URL. Okay, I think that actually covers all the links. Yep, so the query is also super straightforward. Nothing very fancy here. And after we are done with that, we are gonna run, okay, run episodes insert query. We need to refactor that a bit once we're done with it, so that it's actually a bit easier to read. Let's put it this way. Okay, let's call it links results, because otherwise it will complain. Okay, batch insert links. So we're gonna insert the links, and the links are gonna be links with episode IDs is what we want, right? And then created links is gonna be here. Okay, and then here, oh right, I don't actually need that anymore. So here is gonna be this name and returning, and there's our links. Right, link result over here. Okay, I think that should do it, unless I screwed something up. That should import everything. And seems like it actually did. So let's have a check here real quick. So we got our episodes. No, that's the links actually. We got the episodes, right? So we got hundreds, and then page 2, next page 154. Perfect. And then links, if we have a look at the linked episode, yeah, okay, episode. So this is not the episode number, but rather the ID of the episode in database. So that seems to be correct. Now what we need to do is we need to create a relationship over here. Yes, exactly. It suggests basically, so we save this as links, which means that once we query this and say, okay, query episodes, right? So we can actually say, okay, so we want BXJS weekly episodes, we want ID, we want name, we want date, and we want links. And we want ID and title here, which means that now we should get a list of episodes that contain the list of links, and it works perfectly. So there you go, that's actually done. Okay, let's refactor the code a bit and save it. Let me create a source folder and say, okay, so we're gonna have a GraphQL here. I'm gonna extract the whole GraphQL thing over there, because otherwise it's gonna be a bit hard to handle. There's like too much setup. We don't care about all of that. Okay, export const GraphQL client, export const batch, export const insert links. Okay, cool. So we got that, which means we no longer need that here. We no longer need that here. We no longer need all of that here, right? Kill this. Okay, we no longer care about that. That is a lot simpler. Yes, import this from there. Import batch episodes. Import batch links. I think that's all we actually care about. Okay, that's a bit cleaner. I guess we can extract this into a function as well. So let's call it fetcher or something, right? So we got our fetcher, and here, so obviously we don't need this here. All right, so it's gonna load the data. It's gonna, yes, let's call it export const get links and episodes. It's gonna be a sync. And then it's just gonna return links and episodes, right? So we extract this into a function. Nice and easy. Okay. Which means that we no longer need that here. Is super convenient. We no longer need that here. We no longer need that here. We no longer need that here. Which means that we say, okay, we got episodes and links, and they come from await get episode links and episodes, right? That's actually a lot cleaner, and it still should work. I mean, like, yeah, I guess that's just, is there a way to like really wipe the whole database? Modify triggers, custom delete table on track table. Okay, that's I wish there was some way to drop it with like one query or something. I guess I can. So there's sort filter, but it doesn't seem like you can run arbitrary queries, and I want to go into the what do you call it? Oh yeah, that is true. I can just run a GraphQL request, right? So mutation, delete episodes, delete bxjs links. Come on. Where? I mean, can I just do that? Would that work? No, we'll probably require a where argument, right? So how do I, what kind of where argument can I give it so that it actually deletes everything? Where, would that work? Is that acceptable? Apparently it is. Okay, cool. So that's a great suggestion. Thank you very much. I don't know why I haven't thought about that. So if we do that, we should delete all the episodes. Okay, so now the episodes and links are empty. Perfect. So if I rerun that, and it seems like we are working as expected. So let's have a look at the query episodes, yes, ID, name, links, ID, title. Okay, so that should work yeah, okay, cool. That works perfectly fine. All right. I mean, it's not like we need to fetch it in this way, but that's just to test it. So that works perfectly fine, which means we can actually commit that. Okay, so there's going to be a ton of migrations that we need to squash. We can do that a bit later. First of all, import, Hasura importer is what we want. So node modules are not added. Package log, yep, that looks perfect. Git commit add simple bxjs weekly importer into Hasura. Or I guess for Hasura would be a better phrasing here. All right, so we need to squash our Hasura. Okay, let me think for a second. So we need to, okay, first of all, git adds metadata. This is something we will add in its current form. It's not like we need to change anything there. But now we need to npx Hasura cli migration squash. Yes, this is exactly what we want. No, we are not working with file uploads. That is going to be bxjs episodes links. Let's call it this way. And from here, that should be this one, right? Okay. Don't delete anything for now. So let's just double check that it actually, the migration is correct. So we no longer need any of that. All right, so we got this thing. Okay, so we got the links, ID category, title. Okay, you know what? Let me just enable word wrap. Otherwise, it's a bit hard to read. Okay. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Episodes. Okay. Yep, that looks perfectly fine. We got this. Okay, altering. Yep. Yeah. Yep. That's good. So we can delete this, recreate it again, and this time around delete all the files. Okay. So now we have one nice migration. Git add, git commit, implement basic bxjs weekly episodes and links schema in Hasura. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to actually deploy that or apply that migration to the live version, right? Hasura cli migrate apply. Okay, I am gonna change things here. GraphQL. Okay, the website is gonna be GraphQL bxjs.dev. Token is gonna be bxjs Hasura token. There we go, perfect. And now migration is this one, right? Okay. Oh, what? Not D, it is .dev. Okay, there we go. Migration applied. Yes, thank you. It already complained. Chat tends to be lagging a bit, but okay. So what I need to apply else is metadata. Apply, okay, again, this is a different thing. So as you can see now, I finally set up the secrets as n variables, so I don't have to regenerate them after every stream, which is quite nice. GraphQL bxjs.dev. Okay, so this will apply the new metadata. Okay, npm Hasura console. So if we start the console now, right, okay, I have to stop this one. So if we start the remote console, I just want to verify that the migrations applied correctly. We go here, we got our new episodes, we got our new links, and relationship should be perfectly fine. Okay, cool. Yep, all's good, which means we can now import we can now run the importer against the actual endpoint, right? So let's do that. Okay, it's a cd importer. Okay, and we need to do what? We need to say, okay, Hasura secret. I will change that to, what is my $bxjs Hasura token? Okay, I will change that just real quick for this one. Okay, Hasura endpoint is gonna be, what is it again? HTTPS GraphQL bxjs.dev, and then we're gonna say node importer, and I think that should work. Is no, that's not done, right? Resource that, oh right, okay, because right, I'm an idiot. That should be a GraphQL endpoint, not just the Hasura endpoint, which means we need to say v1 GraphQL, I believe, right? Yes, okay, so that should make it work. And there we go. Okay, so if we look here, yep, we have all the links, all the episodes. Now, one thing we need to do actually is I want to be able to query this. So this is basically public information, right? So anyone should be able to query that. And let me, I guess, undo that. Hasura, I think we called it secret, right? So I'm too lazy to do the git reset. I'm just gonna do that. All right, so we want anyone to be able to access our GraphQL endpoint and query those episodes, because it's not a user information, so it should be public, right? So what we need to do is we need to change permissions, and we actually need a new role. Okay, so there is a thing that by default, basically Hasura has the anonymous role disabled. Anonymous access, and there is, yes, public access. That's exactly what we want. So it requires some minor additional setup. Yes, so we need to pass this Hasura GraphQL unauthorized role flag, which means we need to do it both over here. Let's call it anonymous. Is that a correct spelling, or did I screw up something again? Yes, it is a correct spelling. Okay. And then we need to do the same for the exoframe. Okay. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so let us first of all, Docker compose stop, remove, rebuild. Okay. Make console. So now we will do it locally first, ensure that it works, and then push it to live. Okay, so this is now. We should now be able to do the, where's my anonymous role? There we go. Should now be able to do the anonymous role and say that, okay, selecting without any checks, and can select everything. Okay, update delete is not allowed, so we only want anonymous users to be to select stuff, not delete it. That will be very unfortunate. Okay, episodes can select without any checks, can select all the columns. And that's it, right? So theoretically, we can now, so if we, how do I test this? I mean, I'm too lazy to set up like GraphQL or anything like that. So you know what, whatever, we can actually do that in frontend. That's fine. So, okay, so we updated metadata and updated that stuff. So let me do this. Okay, first things first, let me just double check that. Okay, we got the anonymous role, we got the permissions. Okay. allow anonymous access to BXJS weekly data. What want to do? Okay, npm Hasura. So we need to now metadata apply again, because this will update the access permissions, right? But we also need to actually, am I on the correct endpoint? I am. We need to redeploy it so that it picks up that new environmental variable, right? So there's our new version for the Hasura. Building should be relatively fast. To test anonymous access, you can... Oh, yeah, right. You are absolutely right. I keep forgetting that that's an option. So I remember, where was it? Request headers. Right, there you go. So I can just remove that, and I should be able to query the... Yes, there you go. So we get the auto suggestion, which means that this actually works. Thank you. I keep forgetting that that's a thing. I remember I used it like once and then collapsed it and forgot that it exists, basically. All right, cool. Thank you. Right. So now we deployed it to the live. So let me do Hasura console. Let me start the console on the remote endpoint, and let us check that it actually works here. So obviously the mutation won't work. What is going on with this auto suggest? Hey, come on now. Yes, it seems to be working just fine. Okay, cool. So yeah, cool. All right, great. That actually works as expected. And now that we have all of that set up, okay, I committed that. That's good. Okay, we don't need importer anymore. So what we will work on now is setting up the Next.js to consume that data, right? So because we are now interested in essentially, well, you know, making a website as it is right now, or at least close to how it is. npm check. Yeah, let's check if there are any dependency updates. Next. Okay, yeah, that's like minor updates. Major. Can I update the plugin? You know what? Let's not touch it for now. I'll just do the minor updates. All right. So what do we want to do? Okay, first of all, we need, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. We don't care about that anymore. That is also fine. So we only care about the website. And essentially what we want to recreate is this list of episodes and then the episode page. And I think what I want to do is Next.js is just to use this static generation. Where is it? Static file serving, static optimization. Well, we don't need, yeah, so we need this static optimization, and they do it automatically now. Oh, interesting. So next time, Next.js automatically determines that page is a static if it has no blocking data requirements. Okay, so we essentially just write the get server side props, and that's it, right? So that's all we need. That's great. I remember last time I read about it on that was quite a while ago. There was like additional steps involved, but that is pretty damn good. Okay, well, let's create episodes.js, I guess, right? And I'm just gonna copy this thing from here. Don't really care about this for now. Let's call it episodes list page, and okay, I guess we're just gonna pass it here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say, okay, this is a div JSON stringify episodes, just so that we can actually see that it renders it correctly. I guess wrap it in pre so that it's a bit easier to read. And what we need to do is we need to say get initial, or I guess what was it, get server props, right? Get server side props. Okay, so what is the signature for that? Data fetching, get server side props, context, return props. Okay, oh, I can just, all right, so I don't even need to override, I can just export it as a separate function. Cool. Props episodes is what we want, right? And in this case, this is gonna be, okay, const episodes, right? npm start, no, npm run dev is what we want. We want development mode. Okay. So, right, come on now. Node.js, what? Best effort, ASM files, but it's not ESM. What is going on? Default is not a function. Why are you trying to parse it as ES modules? We're not using ES modules in this project, right? Why are you... What? Did it pick up the thing from the package JSON from the other project? How does that happen? Node.js does not offer a nice way to introspect until a full resolution is available. The pack uses experimental ASM tracking based on parsing. Okay, compiled successfully. So what is Next.js? Wait a second. Is that just a problem with my node modules? I just need to reinstall something. Was updating the depths a problem? npm run dev. Nope, it's complaining. Okay, next auth dist server index.js default is not a function. Okay, so there is get status get diff. So what is, we updated next auth 2 versions and it started breaking for some reason. Why does it have to be like this? Git reset. Yes, we can just check out the old stuff, right? But that will still install the latest versions, I think, right? Why is it deprecated? ESLint plugin standard, standard 16. ESLint can no longer require ESLint plugin standard package. I don't even have it, I think. Do I have it? Oh yes, I do have those plugins here, which we actually don't need because we use the okay, whatever, that's fine. Or maybe that is not fine. Maybe that's exactly why it breaks. So I think we can kill those things because they are required by other configs, which mean that they should be pulled in by npm 7 on its own. So like the new module resolution should work just fine, right? What is the npm run analyze? Are we good? Yes, we are good. Okay, npm run dev. Okay, please tell me you're working now. Seems like we are working. Okay, cool. So that resolved it for some reason. Good. So if we go to episodes now, we should see empty array. Perfect. So, okay. So cool. Now we need to fetch our episodes list over here. I guess I'm going to create the components folder here. And let me think. So what are the React GraphQL clients? So I know that there is basically Apollo. This is something I worked with a lot, but I don't think we need it here because it offers a lot of features that we just won't use. In like the elaborate caching they have is just something we don't need, and it does come with quite an overhead. So what clients? What else can we do? Apollo, we got relay. Oh yeah, there's a URQL or whatever you pronounce it. Let's go to bundle phobia. So Apollo client, I believe it is quite big. Well, okay, 34 kilobytes. That's actually a lot smaller than I thought. URQL. What about URQL core? I think we... Yeah, okay, that's like 5-6 times smaller, right? Right, let's go with the URQL. I don't think we will need anything more complex than that. So we're just gonna install that. All right. Basics, yes, let's get started with this. Okay, so we don't need that. Well, I probably shouldn't have closed this one. Okay, React core package. I guess we don't even need a React version for that. We just want a core package, right? Maybe we do need... Okay, let me think for a second. So there's this package, and then there's a different core package. Okay, create client. Yes, so let us create this... Call it GraphQL, right? And it's gonna be a client.js. Okay, so export const GraphQL client. Okay, So this is gonna be v1, and then it's gonna be 8080, and we're gonna allow overriding it. What? Process env. Okay, there is this thing with env variables where I keep forgetting how do you properly use it within Next.js. Env. So there's basically, if you want to require something on the client, the variable has to be prefixed with something. Right, next public, there you go. This is what I want to do. Next public GraphQL endpoint. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually move that off screen and edit my env file so that, you know, I don't spoil all my secrets again. Localhost 8080. Okay, cool. Good. So we are now done with this. This should work. Process env. All right. Hasura. God, what did I call it again? Next public GraphQL endpoint. Okay, or this. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So we got that. Now, how do we use that? Create client fetch options. Right. Okay. In this case, we don't actually need any auth because the endpoint is public, right? So we can, okay, provider queries. So they have this use queries, but how do I use the, so right now we're not going to be using any of that API, at least for the moment. So we only want to just use the client. I guess, can I just be like, okay, GraphQL client query. Okay. So what do I need? Guess it's, okay, query string, query here, and then variables. Okay, so basically it's really straightforward. All right. So, okay, let's import that. Import from, right, I should probably set up the base folder thing. GraphQL client. Okay, so GraphQL client, that was a wrong button. And we need the queries. We actually don't care about that. So we basically literally just need to write the query here. GraphQL. Let's call it weekly. No, yeah, let's create a new folder called queries. And here we're going to have this weekly.js file. Question, do they provide, I guess they don't actually provide any like GQL template literal or anything like that. So it seems like you just write a query and that's it, right? Yeah, it really seems like it. Okay, oh, that's fine. We can work with that. Export const weekly episodes. Okay, query get weekly episodes. All right, let's go into the console and actually build the query. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Episodes, yes. So we want all of them actually, right? So ID, name, date, created, updated. So I don't think we care about links right now. We just want that data. And damn it, I lose formatting if I don't have a GQL template literal, but that's fine. Okay, cool. So we basically say, okay, weekly episodes, const result await. So let's log the result because I'm kind of curious what we will get here. Right, I should probably start the development mode of the server again. That would be a good thing to do, right? Come on now. Come on, build it. To promise. Oh, I guess I cannot just say, okay, where is the API? I need the API for the client. Okay, so we got the create client, GraphQL core. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Execute. Oh, there's actually execute query. Instead of using this method directly, you may want to use client query shortcut. Okay, this is exactly what we want. Client query to promise. Okay, so I literally just need to add to promise for it. Okay, there we go. I think that should fix it. And we refresh that. Can I please get something? What's going on? Where's my results? Okay then, let me restart that. I'm not sure what is going on. Is it my VSL again deciding to not work? Waiting for localhost, okay. That's okay, console log requesting episodes. Let's just see if it actually gets to that point. Yes, it does. Okay, so for some reason it runs the query but doesn't get anything back? Question mark. Result, yes, client query. So there's the query, there's the vars. Do I need to pass the vars, or can it be just like a empty object? Like, do I have to parse it? Okay, returning. Oh, there we go. What is happening? Blah blah blah. Kind document GraphQL request to GraphQL v1 failed. Reason client network socket disconnected because I am an idiot. Okay. Let me move that again. I think I used HTTPS there. Yes, I did. Okay. Right, that explains it. It's trying to do the HTTPS connection to the server that doesn't actually have HTTPS. Okay. Cool. That's totally my fault. And there we go. It works. Okay, cool. So we got the data. BXJS weekly episodes is what we want to extract from here, right? Data. And then BXJS weekly episodes. Okay. This is what we want to pass. And I think, so basically this should be now statically compiled only once, right? And every time we re-request that, it should actually happen. Yeah, it basically happens instantaneously. So, man, Next.js has gotten insanely good. All right, we actually want to do something different here. We actually want to sort this. Order by. Yes, we want to order by dates. And we want to order descending, I think. Right? Yes, there we go. Exactly what I want to do. So we basically want to get the latest episodes first. Paste that here. This is going to change the query. This is going to re-update, and there we go. Cool. So now we can, I guess, just render those in a nice way. Let's just go ahead and, for now, I'm not going to basically think too much about design or anything like that. We're going to port that later. Key, okay, key is going to be episode ID. Okay. And then we got episode name. And I guess something like that. Episode date, new date, locale string. That should be sufficient, I think. Yeah, I mean, we don't actually need locale date string. I think would be sufficient. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I mean, it looks ugly as hell, but hey, it works. And we also want, okay, so we don't care about that now. What we want is a link to it, I guess. Could do it by name, right? So I think that would be the easiest way. Let's say episode. You know what we could do? We could rename that to episodes index, right? So this is gonna be just episodes, okay? And then we can say that episode, I guess, name.js, right? So if we have the name, gonna copy the whole thing here. We don't need that. We don't need that. Okay. Episode page. Okay, so we don't need this for now. Okay. No episodes over here. Let me comment that out. Okay. Episode page. Okay. Right. First of all, we need to put the let me think. We need to put a link here. So we need Next.js thing. We need a link. Next link, exactly what we want. So we want that bit. So okay. Okay. Yes, and this is gonna have a link, I guess, like that. And link is gonna lead to episode and then slash episode name, I guess. Right? Question mark. How does it look? What are our names? Yeah, the names look fine. I guess that's fine, right? Yeah, okay. So episode name, and this is, did I do it wrong? Okay, routing. So I keep forgetting how do you do the partial matches. I thought, yeah, slug.js, yeah. So that seems like it's all right. All, no, not all. So we just need slug.js. Oh, episodes. There should be an S there. Okay, I wrote it myself and then screwed it up myself. Great. Episodes. Yeah, there you go. So we got episode page, and then how do I get that parameter from them? Dynamic routing. There we go. Use router. Okay, so this is what we want. Can I use that on my... So I need those. I guess we will get that in context somehow, right? So I'm thinking that basically console log context probably contains this information, right? Context, query, params. There we go. Params name is what we want. Okay, params name. Right, from context, get episode name. All right. Now that we have the name, we can basically query XJS weekly episode by name. Let's call it this way. Name over here. Obviously, we need to write the query actually, right? Export const. So, okay. We need to write that a bit. Yes, I know that you're going to error out. That's perfectly fine. Episode by name. Okay, we got the name, which is a string. And what we want is episodes. Yeah, that's fine. Where name, yes, name equals $name. Okay. So, and if we say that name over here is like, what did we use there? 105. Okay, yep, we get that. And then here we basically want to ask for links because this is what we're going to be rendering, right? ID, yeah, let's just check all of those. There we go. That should do it. I'm gonna do that so that I get some formatting and then remove it. I wonder if there's a way to configure the VS Code to actually format it without having the GQL template literal there. Okay, get episode by name. We got it. Okay, that looks fine, right? Ah, right. No, that is correct actually. Episode. So we actually want the first one because it's literally the only one, right? Episode. And if we just print all of that, JSON stringify episode L2. Why are you not formatting things? What is wrong? Episode, yes. Are we good? Or is there some error? Oh, right. Just don't see it. I forgot to remove the closing comment. There we go. A lot nicer. And then if we go here and reload that, we actually get the episode data. Cool. Hey man, welcome to the stream. We are rebuilding the old BXJS website to the new one, and currently we have re-imported all the data into the GraphQL endpoint and now creating pages out of it, basically. Okay, so let me just render some basic stuff. Episode name. Again, this is gonna be a new date, episode dates to locale date string. That should be sufficient. There we go. Yep, that looks absolutely ugly, but that will do for now. Okay, and we got our div with stuff, and here we're gonna say episode links map link to, okay, there's gonna be just a bunch of divs. E is gonna be link ID. Okay. Then we're gonna have ahref link URL, link title. All right, and we should also group them by category, right? Because that was one of the things we haven't actually done yet. We got the category, which means that we need to reprocess this. Okay, const episodes. Right, let me think for a second. So basically what we need to do is we need to group the links by categories. Okay, so let me think. So it's gonna be episode, let's call it links by category, right? Map is gonna be category. Okay, which means there's gonna be div here slash div. Okay, key category. And then this is just gonna be like h2 or something, category. And then we got this category links map to. Okay, that should be sufficient. Obviously this is gonna error out. You could use a reduce for grouping. We could use a reduce, but there's a way simpler way of doing that. Essentially, I'm just gonna npm install Lodash, because Lodash has a group by method that is very efficient and very easy to use. This is gonna cheat a bit. But yes, reduce is also an option for that. But you know, it's like this Lodash has been polished and iterated on and optimized for years, so I honestly don't see any reason to invent anything myself when I can just do that. Episode by category. Okay. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's not what I want. I want to do the links, right, by category, and then we can say episode links by category equals that. Okay, and we also need to import. I actually can do group by. I actually can just do this, right? Lodash group by. I think that should be sufficient, so we don't actually have to drag the whole thing in. Whoops, again, there's too much. I think that should be good, right? npm run dev. So I think if I'm not screwing anything up, we should actually get a nice result right now. Come on now. No? Links by category map is not a function, so what do we actually get there? Let me, okay, I'm gonna comment this out, and I'm just gonna have a look at the JSON we get as a result. Where is my, this is links, and oh yeah, right, so it's an object with, okay, cool, that's fine. Object keys is what we want, right? Yes, that is too many. Okay, and then we have to change this a bit, as in like this. Okay, I think that should do it. Map of undefined. Right, it should be this. Okay, cool. Well, I again, still, it looks like absolute ass, but it actually does work perfectly fine. Let me think. So, oh yeah, it actually, the order of categories is even seems to be retained, which is pretty good. So I would want to, I mean, I guess we would have to look at the other episodes to make sure that the ordering is the same, because, you know, I want to have like getting started, articles, tips and tricks, releases, libs and demos, and interesting and city stuff in this order, right? But we can do reordering later if it even breaks anywhere, because theoretically it's first come, first served, and this is how they were in a database, which means this is how they are gonna show up, right? So we got our episodes thing. And if we just click on any other, yeah, that actually seems to be working quite well. Yep, that does work surprisingly well across all the episodes. Cool. So there we go. We basically rewritten majority of the website already. So we just need to add some designs, and we're gonna be good. Okay, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. What are the... Okay, this is the old errors. Let me just commit that. Make sure I didn't commit any secrets or anything like that. No, we're all good, right? Okay, git commit add basic rendering of the weekly episodes list and links. Cool. So now, yeah, basically with this part, we're done. So we have this bit here, we have this bit here, we have this bit here. What we need to still implement is search. We need to implement design, and I think we're gonna do this next time. And we're also gonna do the giveaways section. Like this is gonna be the new section for the website. I noticed you have a few links in a database without URL. Oh, do I? That might be the case, but that seems a bit weird. Let me have a look. BXJS weekly links, ID, title, URL. Okay. Where URL equal, I guess is, yeah, I guess it's not null technically, right? So, okay, we don't need this name thing here. Yeah, right, okay, queries, kill the queries. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, that's perfect. So those are the, like, additional things that I put in here and there. They did tend to be without URLs, but yeah, it's just the thing that exists. So sometimes some categories didn't have any links, so I put, like, emojis there or whatever. And that is expected, basically. That is as it should be. Okay, but yeah, so you can actually, if you want, you can now query the GraphQL BXJS dev v1 GraphQL with your own client and get all the links in a nice GraphQL API, which is super cool. So there you go. And it just seems to be very, very fast as well, which is also kind of great. I mean, considering there's not that many links, but still. Okay, I think that's a great spot to wrap this up. So I'm going to push everything we've done to the GitHub. Again, as usual, it's on AI branch under the respective folders there. So there's what do we have here? Yeah, today we worked primarily on Hasura and a bit of stuff on frontend. And next time we're gonna implement designs, add the basic search, which is literally just one GraphQL query, which is kind of mind-blowingly cool. And we're gonna add the giveaways section. So we need to do this next week because there are another giveaways coming up at the end of months, and I basically want to have a platform ready for it, so I don't have to manually pick the winners and contact them again, which is just a inconvenience to everyone basically. But yeah, that's basically it from my side. That was a nice, almost 1 hour and a half long stream. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your continued support. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat right now or into the comments on YouTube, or join our Discord server and just ask me there. We'll be more than happy to talk about that. That's basically it from my side. Thank you for watching, and I see you next time. Bye.